Hi, I want to welcome you to managing your anger, especially during this pandemic. I am Coach Bola, CEO of Spiritual Recovery Coach. I am an inner healer and energy cleansing coach. I help that woman to unmask her identity, transform her relationships, and align the mindsets. It's about getting emotional balance. My website is on the page, and my office number is 682-304-0038. Today's topic is managing your anger during the pandemic. Statistics have shown that anger is on the rise because of this pandemic. Maybe because life has changed for most of us and we're having to readjust. One thing that people tend to do is confuse that anger, aggression, and hostility are all on the same level, but there are different levels to them. Now, anger is at the lower level, and it has to do with your feeling or emotion that ranges from the mild irritation to an intense fury or rage. Where you're like, you're just upset about something, or rage, or you lose your temper. Where aggression is a behavior, where you intend to cause harm or injury to a person or damage to a property. So people who go out and vandalize, break into properties, or beat up people, bullying, that's aggression. That's not anger, that's more of aggression. Now, hostility refers to a set of attitudes and judgment that motivate aggressive behavior. If you don't like a person because of the color of their skin, their religious background, or their size, height, or you just don't care for a particular group, when you see that group, you boil up in rage, and all you can think of is doing harm, or it's to a building, or doing damage, and you act upon those things. So those are the difference between the three. Aggression and hostility are very damaging. Anger is emotion we all feel from time to time. Some of us feel it much more often than others, and oh, you need to look into doing something about that. Because it's not, even though it's a natural emotion, but it's not a balanced emotion. Now, people feel anger when they are harmed, feel threatened or wronged. So anger may boil up if you notice someone is doing something to cause harm to you. You may get angry at what that person is doing, especially if they're doing it for no reason. Or you feel threatened, or let's say someone gets in your face and starts yelling and belittling you. You will tend to show some anger, or you feel wrong. You're going along in your business and some coworker, boss, somebody you know, either they put out lies about you, gossip about you, or they do things to keep you down, not allowing you to elevate to your full capacity. Another reason we will feel anger is if harm or threat is coming to someone else we know, or and especially children. Many people get angry because of that, and for just cause. Now, anger can have a positive emotion. Now, it's about moral response to injustice, or a rational response to a threat. Now, what do I mean? Let's say years ago, it was on the news how a lot of what do you call it? Elderly care resident nurses, or I don't know exactly what you call them, or the homes themselves were mistreating the elderly. Society got really pissed about that. That was anger, and they showed the anger by boycotting, picketing, going to Congress. That is a way of showing anger. And it is a positive anger, just like with sex trafficking. You will see so many people at the politicians at Congress speaking against that injustice done to women and young children, and even men, about the sex trafficking game and how it is not right. So those and the people get heated because of that. So that is a positive anger, is viewed as a positive, in a positive light when it comes to things like that, social awareness and social justice. Now, anger is normally associated when we get frustrated because our needs, desires, and goals are not met. This is when anger can creep in, when things just don't seem to be going the way we want or planned. Let's go over the myths and learning the truths about anger. Now, anger is not hereditary. It is not passed down through our genes. It's a behavior that is learned. Also, venting anger is a favorable way to blow off steam. That is not necessarily true. That is not true, because sometimes when we vent in anger, we tend to hurt other people. The other myth is anger is a fixed behavior. Anger can be changed. It's about changing your mindset and not allowing things to take you to the place of anger. Intimidation or showing anger gains respect from others. That is another myth. Being nice gets you a lot of respect. When you intimidate or you show anger and others go along with you, they just doing it because you're in their presence. But once you are not there, they probably don't even like you because of your behavior, or they have no respect for you. So you cannot bank on that. Intimidation or showing anger will give you respect. Respect is earned. It is not forced. How has the pandemic affected our anger? Well, because of the uncertainty that's going on in today's world, many people have began to worry, and even some have gotten to the point of having anxiety. We worry about things like, do we mask or do we unmask? Do we get the shot or no shot? Do I homeschool my kids or do I send them to school? My rights versus your risks. Who is telling us the truth? These are just to name some of the concerns. A lot of people are find themselves in a different financial bracket because of the pandemic. And so they're having to readjust their life. And a lot of this anxiety that we're going through has turned into a form of a negative anger. So we have to look at anger, because I know that statistics show there is a rise in divorce and domestic violence. We got to make sure we don't spill this over into the children. And I'm sure it already has spilled over to the children one way or another, be it more bullying, or be it the abuse from parents. But this pandemic has affected the way we deal with others, and our anger, our tempers are much shorter, and we have to learn to find a balance in what we have to face. When this anger is not a positive anger, it becomes a problem. We'll see that prolonged and frequent episodes of anger, it puts an extreme physical strain on your body. You may think your body's okay, but there are warning signs. There's signs that'll show it's not. And you'll find that out when you end up going to the doctor for different health reasons that you never even suspected. What anger does, it can turn into violence or physical aggression. We have to stop ourselves before it gets to that point. People have lost their lives. Road rage is a form of anger that turns into physical aggression. When a life is taken, you can never bring that life back. You can calm your anger down, but you can never bring that life that you took back. We also have to face with anger. Sometimes it turns into verbal abuse or intimidation. Have you noticed your kids don't want to be around you because you're angry all the time? They feel intimidated. Is this what you really want? Even you as a boss, do you want your coworkers to cower to you? Does it make you feel mighty? You may feel mighty at that moment, but trust me, the people you're intimidating, they're finding ways not to be in your presence. And eventually, those people you intimidate or you bully, you're eventually going to need them. Or somebody else is going to come along and bully or intimidate you. So we have to stop with this verbal abuse. What are the advantages and drawbacks of negative anger? Though anger allows manipulation of others, that's through intimidation and verbal abuse. You'll see this a lot in relationships in general. Parents, children, spouses, your workplace, health care, even in some health care. It'll go both ways, where the people are taking care of somebody and the patient is verbally abusive or abusive to the person. And when you manipulate others, what you do is you lose their trust. They see you as someone who cannot be trusted. So what's more important? Manipulating others or being trusted? Some people think that, blown anger allows you to blow off steam by verbally abusing somebody. Just because you may not use cuss words, that does not mean you don't verbally abuse somebody. Verbal abuse is when you belittle somebody. You make them feel less than when that is not the case. And what happens with that when you display anger just to blow off steam? You may be upset at your spouse, so you come to work and take it off on your subordinates. You really don't care about how other people see. All you care about yourself is yourself. So that tends to be a very selfish behavior. When you are not concerned about the feelings of others, And trust me, when you hurt people's feelings unnecessarily, they see you in a different light. And it's usually not the light you want to be seen as. What are the impacts of anger? It can cause isolation. You can either isolate yourself from others because you just can't tolerate them, or others isolate you because you've become very intolerable with your anger. Anger also puts you in a place of justifying, of justification. You justify everything that you do. You have that. You have the feel of, I have the right to do it. Anger also causes us to be closed-minded. All we can see is our viewpoint. Anger will also cause more anxiety, even take you to the place of clinical depression, hate, and your emotions become misplaced. You tend not to really even know what the source or the root of where your anger is coming from or stems from. Anger makes us make poor choices. Our heads are so full of this anger, this rage, that we don't count the cost. We don't sit and think things through before we take action. Anger can also foster violence. Once you reach a point of violence, especially in relationships, the different relationships you have, it changes the whole game. It's a game changer. That trust is broken. Anger causes health issues such as high blood pressure, heart attacks, um, different things, anything having to do with your blood, your respiratory, breathing problems. So this anger can affect you physically, and it can physically bring you down, where you're not even able to be angry other than you be angry at the now medical issues that you're facing. Why? Because you did not let go of anger. There are three ways anger has an effect. It has an effect on our relationships, and just not intimate relationships. Every type of relationships out there, be it the parent-child, be it your work, be it friendships, be it intimate spouses, be it at your brothers, sisters, siblings, or relationships you have at groups, churches. These are the relationships that anger can affect. See, what anger does is puts a wedge. It puts a wedge between you and the recipient. Because sometimes what we're angry at isn't even the person or the thing that caused us the anger, but we aim it towards an innocent person. So when you build that wedge, you break down trust. You break down embracement. You break down understanding. You just break down the foundations of what a healthy relationship is due to anger. In the relationships where there's one person has a lot of anger, people start to try to avoid you as much as possible. What anger does on our mindset, for those people who have anger issues, it puts you in a place of, I'm better than that person. It also puts you in a place of justifying. You have to justify your anger. You have to justify yourself. Our mindset, our emotions, because of anger, doesn't allow us to love freely. It causes doubt. It causes confusion, double-mindedness. So we have to watch how anger can affect our mindset. Now, how does it affect your identity? Well, if people know you as an angry person, you're not that open to people. People don't see you as an open person. They're not willing to share. They're not sometimes, people are not willing to help or partner with someone who's always angry. You will push people away with anger. So now your identity has to make up for the negative response you get from your behavior of anger. Anger may be good for a moment, but it really does not help you in the long run for a lifetime. Anger can stem from various things. We always have to look and find out what is the root of your anger. Is it past relationships you have? Was one or both of your parents absent? Rejection? Abandonment? Was it your childhood? Was your childhood full of trauma, scars that you're having a hard time moving beyond? What about abuse? Did somebody abuse you? Were you abused in some kind of way? Or your circumstances? Sometimes it's maybe one or two circumstances that cause you to display anger. Or it could be a cycle of circumstances that is not favorable to you that cause you to display anger. About the environment you grew up in, or the environment you're placed in? Is it a healthy environment? Or do you find anxiety, yourself having anxiety moments, frustration moments? So these are the roots, and we have to deal with these roots. We have to change how we view them by looking at our mindset. And sometimes moving ourselves out of that environment. If that environment is the thing that is causing your anger. What are your triggers? What are the things that cause you to go into this rage, this fit of anger? Sometimes it will be people, or it'll be someone who reminds you, somebody's behavior reminds you of someone who sets your trigger off. It could be mere traffic congestion. You hate sitting in traffic. So anxiety, your blood begins to boil. What about crowds? You're not one that likes to be around a lot of people. So you get angry when there are crowds around you. Or you have to clean up after somebody else's mess. That can cause you to be angry. So when you see a mess, or you see that person you had tended to have to clean up, especially if you have OCD, that person just irks you. What about people giving the wrong directions? Or You've had money or property stolen. That can cause you to be angry. And then, so you now suspect a lot of people that maybe they're stealing or they will steal for you. So you become protective over your money and your property. What also triggers anger? Bad online behavior. Wow. Nowadays, people hide behind social media to display bad behavior. That includes anger. And they never know the effect that they have, how it affects the person they are pushing this anger towards. Check yourself when it comes to your triggers. What are our positive influence? What can help lessen the anger or calm you down? One is music. Don't listen to something that that has your blood going up. You know, I know the younger folks like to listen to that, but something that brings your heart rate down. Another thing is affirmations, music, sleep, exercise, and social support. Those are some of the things that can help with deterring or calming down your anger. Therapy. If you're one who finds yourself in a place of being angry all the time, seek therapy. You don't want to become clinically depressed. That is when you definitely have to seek therapy. And coaching. Coaching is they'll come partner with you to help you figure out your triggers and how you can best avoid becoming angry a lot. But these are just a few of the positive influences that can help curb you away from an angry spirit. Rate your level of anger. You know you are past the norm of being angry. When it becomes your anger is always intense, too intense, and they occur frequently. That over a week you get angry over what, a dozen times? Now, if you're getting angry a dozen times a day, and you need help. And when your anger is targeted inappropriately, you don't really, what that means is you don't care when you display your anger. Every time is a good time for you to display your anger. This is when your level of anger needs help. The goal is transformation, taking you from a place of anger to finding peace, to gaining clarity and having balance. When you have those things, your life changes. You see things, let me say this, you get to stop and smell the roses because you will realize life is not that bad. Woohoo! You do not have to stay in a place of anger. I, Coach Bola, would like to offer you 1 hour of coaching solution where we will sit down and decipher what is your root cause of this anger. that comes up frequently in your life. You understand and know what your triggers are and how to avoid them or calm yourself down. And we will sit and discuss, help you determine what anger control strategies can you put in place that will take you to a higher level so you too can smell the roses. And don't forget, I have included as a special gift a 31-day anger thermometer so you can track your emotions. Let me tell you about this hour with Coach Bola. This is a limited time only. Do you hear that? You get coaching for $45 for 1 hour. It's an hour of coaching on managing your anger. You gotta get rid of it. And I have included a gift, which is the PDF version of the emotional tracker. You can book an appointment by calling me at 682-304-0038. You can also messenger me to say, hey, I need your coaching. You can email me at spiritualrecoverycoach@gmail.com. And what I will do is I'll send a cash app, or we can make an arrangement on where you can send the payment. But call me. Or email or message me so we can get your 1 hour of coaching on managing your anger. Because we never know when this limited time will be up. So give me a call. So long, farewell. I need to say goodbye. I just want to say thank you for going through this. And I hope this video helped you. And it sheds some light on what anger is. And that you don't have to live a life of anger. That you were made to have the sunshine and to be a light and to smile. So I want you to make sure you like, and also you may know someone who has anger issues, or you may share this out and it will touch someone who has anger issues and don't know what to do. Remember, Coach Bola is here to help you with your anger issues. As a special thank you, I give to you my download of Anger Management Questionnaire. It's just a questionnaire of where you fall on the anger thermometer. This will help you, give you a clarity on how maybe others are seeing you. But download that. Don't be scared to take it. Because remember, anger is not something that has to be permanent in your life. You can let the sunshine in by taking that step, calling me, setting an appointment. If anger is one of those things you have to change in your life. But again, I thank you for taking the time to go along this ride as we talk about anger. I will talk to you later.